Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 425 to 426 for the 24th to 25th of April. And let's start off with Bakhmut or Bakhmut. And if you are new to this channel, please press subscribe. And for the rest of you, DPA Army, press the like button. And let's start off with PRIGOZHIN. He says that the Ukrainian defense in the Bakhmut Front is now limited in the direction towards Kramatorsk and Slovyansk. He said that there's now nothing to prevent troops from going to Slovyansk and Kramatorsk right now because the Wagner has completely constrained the Ukrainians on Bakhmut. So he said that the operational space is now completely open. And I'm not sure if this is fake news or real news, but it seems like the Ukrainians are sucked into this vortex of Bakhmut city. And there is also some sort of corroboration given the fact that the Russians are still bombarding the rear in Avdiivka, Ivanivske and Zaporizhzhia. And there is also information by the Russian Defense Ministry that they have engaged reserves moving towards Bakhmut near Avdiivka. So on top of that, the Russians are still holding the entrenchment in this position despite Ukrainian counteroffensive along the Kromove road. They still have not managed to recapture the entire entrenchment in this area here. So there is Russian geolocation of Russian forces at this position, showing that the Russians indeed are still holding positions in this area, and they are indeed still pushing. There are some news about Kromove falling, rumors, but this is not true. According to the information that I have, the Wagner is simply just entering Kromove, and they're just fighting in the first houses in the settlements. They are still nowhere close to capturing Kromove. Fighting is still ongoing. It was already fighting on the 24th, and then fighting is ongoing on the 25th, reported by Surya Maps and Remilin 21. And over at Ivanivske, the Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling on the 25th, and Zaporizhzhia, which I just mentioned. Fighting is reported near Klishchiivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Not fully sure exactly where the fighting is near Klishchiivka. They say that it's in the direction of Klishchiivka, which makes zero sense. So the fighting is also reported towards Novo Makove, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry on the 24th. Oops, I cancelled it. And then in this direction. So yeah, probably fighting within the forest region, I guess. And moving on, we have into the Bakhmut city itself. There is some changes into the front line. As you can see, the front line have straightened out. The fighting is reported near the garage, according to Surya Maps, and along Kreminna Street, according to Ryba, on the 24th. There is geolocation of Russian forces at this position. In fact, this is actually by RIA Novosti. They actually traveled probably around this area here, and then they actually photo or video a flag on this building here. And I thought this was really close to the front line because previously the front line is still here. And then later we have information from Surya Maps that shows that the front line has actually moved forward. So it does corroborate the fact that it is possible to have a flag in this area here. And there is fighting reported now at Veja Street on the 25th as the Russian front line push forward in this area here. And fighting is at Pushkina Street the day before. Fighting is along the Lisova Street region. There's two streets called Lisova. There's Street 1 and Street 2. And fighting is in the southwest of Bakhmut, according to Ryba. The Ukrainian front line has also, according to pro-Ukrainian sources, has also updated. Previously, it was something like this. Now they have entirely pushed up to this line now. And similarly, the Ukrainian updated their front line in this area here. So the front line have really changed little bit by little bit on a daily basis, which also shows that the tide is in the Russian side. The tide of war is on the Russian side. And moving away, let's go to the next front line. before we go to the front line, there is some weird information. In Kharkiv, there is a gathering of forces reported by Ryber. A lot of forces seems to have been arriving at Kharkiv, and this including that they are also trying to form a Spartan assault battalion. Currently, is only 50% manned. And another weird information, according to Rybar, the pro-Russian source, is the evacuation of the civilians in the Volchansk region. This is just next to the border, which is why it's kind of raised some kind of alarm in my opinion. Not sure if this is true, maybe it might be fake news. And moving on into the Kherson Front. At the Kherson Front, we have a Ukrainian Sukhoi 25 shot down over Valentensky, which is here. And then there is viral videos showing the Russians dropping massive bombs, airstrikes at this position. According to Deep State UA's geolocation, another one is actually here on the 24th. So these are the two viral videos that have been going around, and there's also another viral video of the Ukrainian speedboat leaving their comrade behind after getting shelled by artillery. So it's actually geolocated at this position. So you can see the area here is pretty much a gray zone. No one can actually survive hanging out around this area here. Moving away from the Kherson Front, we go into the Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, we have a lot of bombardments. Shelling is being reported at Nevsky on the 25th, near Cheverno-Popivka on the 24th, and Terny on the 24th, Dibrova on both days, 24th and 25th. And all this information is coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. What is significant, I guess, is there is reinforcement reported at Liman and at Dibrova, according to the pro-Russian source Ryba. They say the Ukrainians are reinforcing this area. There is probing by the Ukrainian forces, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, on the 24th at Terny. And there is still fighting within the Serbryansk forestry on the 24th and 25th, according to Deep State UA. And let's see, did I have any information? Okay, yeah. So and then moving just south of it in the Sivas Front, as we continue, as this seems to be a little bit of a continuous front line, there is shelling reported at Serebranka as well as at Krychorivka. The Russians tried to recapture their lost grounds on the 24th of April. It didn't work out. Probably in the southeastern part of Bilohorivka. And at Sperne region, yesterday we reported that the Chechen forces captured the gas compressor. This is actually should be grayed out. And apparently this is not the standard Chechen formation. According to information I get from a follower of DPA, he said that this is actually the Spetsnaz from Chechnya. So they are part of the Spetsnaz rather than a part of the Chechen formation, but they are from Chechnya. And there is a Ukrainian counteroffensive trying to recapture the lost station on the 24th. Probably didn't succeed because we didn't have any information since. And the pro-Ukrainian source, the Deep State UA, also continue to map. Actually, they actually mapped that they lost this position. So let me push. They actually lost this gas station. But anyway, that is also flattened. It cannot be used anymore. And moving away from there, let's go into the Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, there is fighting reported towards Novokalinove on the 24th and then on the 25th. 24th is reported by Deep State UA and then reported by Surya Maps. Geolocation by according to Deep State UA shows that the Russian forces is actually on this road here. So it does shows that the front line is actually pretty close in this area here. And then there is fighting reported at Svatove on the 24th, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And on the western part of Avdiivka city, which is actually here, there is fighting reported at Zheveny, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, on the 24th and then on the 25th. Pervomaisky also see fighting on the 24th and the 25th. All this information at the Avdiivka front is coming almost entirely from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. No one else is really interested in this front line, it seems. And moving on into the Zaporizhzhia line. At the Zaporizhzhia region, very interesting. We have a lot of troop deployment in the area of Slavne, Avdiivka, and Tarivske. And this actually forms the entire area here north of Orikhiv. So the Ukrainian forces seems to be concentrating forces around here, probably to prepare for their offensive. But the Russian forces are not allowing the Ukrainians to do so. They are still bombarding Kayamske on the 24th and on the 25th, and Malatoshmashka on the 24th. Near Dorozyanka, there is interesting information as they emphasize the use of the TOS-1 heavy flamethrower system to use near Dorozyanka on the Ukrainian positions. So I just want to highlight the use of there's a deployment of such equipment in this area here, and it does seems pretty worrying for the Ukrainian side. And there is Ukrainian probing at Novoselka on the 24th, but nothing much really come out of this. And that's all from the Zaporizhzhia line. Over at the Marinka region, there is fighting, heavy fighting at Marinka on the 24th and on the 25th. Geolocation by Deep State UA shows Russian forces at this position here, which actually corroborates the information from the pro-Russian and neutral side that the Russians are making some kind of progress in the southern part of Marinka. And there is geolocation of Russian forces at this position, according to Deep State UA, where some mine trawler got javelined by a T-90, yeah, a T-90 mine trawler. So basically they got attacked by the Ukrainian forces. So the Ukrainians probably are not very far away since the strike actually took place around here. And there is fighting reported at Novomikhailivka on the 24th. The Ukrainians say that it's the Russians that they are actually attacking. However, the Russian Defense Ministry said it's the Ukrainians that is actually launching the DRGs at Novomikhailivka. So not sure. Maybe both is true. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's here. Who knows? And that's all from the Novomikhailivka region. At the Voleda region, there is no more ground operations. It's simply the Russians are hammering the Ukrainian forces with artillery and airstrike on the 24th and on the 25th at Voleda, and at Polivka on the 25th. And then also shelling is being reported at Novodonetsk. According to the press center of the Vostok group of forces, here they also use the TOS-1. So I thought there was this sudden uptick in the deliberate information coming from the Russian side, showing the increased use of the TOS-1A flamethrower. So I thought this is actually a bit concerning because it is a very effective weapon at clearing out entrenchments. So if you have an entire trench network over, let's say, in this area here, a barrage of the TOS-1 can wipe out the entire entrenchment. So the entrenchment will stay there, but the people will be all be dead. So this is rather concerning for the defenders, I guess. And moving away into the Kupyansk Front. At the Kupyansk Front, we have bombardment reported at Vyhorivka on the 24th, Vorishna on the 25th. Miroshnikov, the pro-Ukrainian source, say that there is some fighting near Kryanivkivka. And then there are some DRG operation in Vorishna, but I'm not sure how to understand this information, because it would mean that the Russians have to cross the river, and it doesn't feel very sensible. And then there is a Ukrainian attack in the Sinkivka region. This is a consistent attack thing on the 24th, and then bombardment continues at Sinkivka on the 24th and on the 25th, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Sinkivka is like one of the most bombarded area in this front line here. And we have a DRG operation at Tinkovka as well. The reconnaissance or recon forces around this, operating around this area here. The same information talk about Novoselivsk as well in the south. There is a lot of DRG or recon operation or offensive operation at Novoselivsky on the 24th and on the 25th. Otherwise, there is shelling reported at Ivanivka on the 24th, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Moving into the Svatove region, we have bombardment at Semakivka and Myasozarivka on the 24th and on the 24th of April. Ukrainians actually did some recon or attack in the Semakivka region, and then there is also reinforcement reported at Semakivka on the 24th, according to Ryeba. And that's all for the information at the Kupyansk and the Svatove front, and I believe I might have covered everything. So do press the like button if you are interested to look at this map. Do sign up as a DPA Army officer at Patreon, and do press the like button, subscribe if you are new to this channel, and I'll see you in the next update.